Thank you for joining me in this Lee Ulinger Models Build Log DVD. Today we're going to be putting together the SF-1. This airplane is built just like any of my other outdoor 6mm aerobatic airplanes. So this DVD covers all of my airplanes from the Yak 55, the SF-1, the Extra 330, and any other monoplanes that I bring out in the future. Will share the same building technique that I use on these airplanes. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the parts that come with the airplane. This will be the little packet that comes in the kit. It's got a little plywood packet here, firewall just below it, the firewall supports just below that, 2 wheels, the rubber grommets for the axles, the axles themselves, the T-nuts. These are the landing gear legs. We have the 040x6 carbon fuselage supports, and we have 2 pieces of heat shrink tubing here, and then the Z-bends, the 8 Z-bend pieces here for the connections. Some of the tools that we'll need to put this airplane together: we're going to need a drill. We're going to need a number 33 drill bit. It's just a little bit smaller than 1/8 inch or 3mm. We have a countersink bit. We have a lighter. We have a pair of scissors. I have both foam safe CA and regular CA in medium. Accelerator that's foam safe. A little bit of masking tape there. A speed square or some other 90-degree angle. Some 100 grit sandpaper. X-Acto knife. A pair of pliers. A roll of Blenderm hinge tape. And that just about covers it. You may need some boxes as well. This kind of helps put the structure together, but they're 8-inch tall boxes that might help. Okay, so here's the SF-1 kit. Again, here's that packet that was on the piece of cardboard I showed you. Go ahead and pull all the pieces out of the bag here. We have the push rod there. Put that aside. There's the rudder, the side force generators, elevator, fuselage cross brace. Make sure that it's marked top on the top for indicate the right thrust that's built in. Here's the fuselage side, and here's the ailerons and the wing. And we always start on these airplanes by with the wing and the elevator and gluing the spars in. And we remove the tape that holds the spar in with an X-Acto knife, put underneath the tape, and it's rolled. The tape is rolled off with your finger. So you kind of grab it like that and roll it off so it doesn't pull any of the print off. Pull it back upon itself, I always say. Then we can go ahead and pull the spar out. We'll do the same on the wing. We'll go ahead and pull the spar out of the wing. And we're going to start with our medium foam safe CA. I'm using the Great Plains. And I'm going to lay a bead right down, a good bead right down the center of the spar slot. I'm going to spray the whole spar with accelerator. Push it right into that corner hard and then lay it down through the middle, press down. We also have this nice flat building table. This is a melamine shelf that you buy at your local hardware store, and they make great little building tables for this. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of extra CA down each side of this spar, so it runs down the spar and onto the foam and gives it a little extra adhesion. Go ahead and spray it with the accelerator. Be generous with it. And then I'm going to set it aside. We'll do the same with the elevator. I'll go ahead and put some glue right down the center. And I'm going to stop near the middle where the control horn slot is. I don't want any glue near that area to leak through onto the table. Go ahead and spray the spar. Careful not to put too much glue in there so it squishes up and makes a mess. If it does, take a paper towel and wipe off the extra glue before you hit the accelerator. And we'll take a little bit of extra glue, mostly at the tips here. I'll put a little extra at the ends. And spray it a little bit. Then we can go ahead and set that aside. Now let's go ahead and get with the fuselage here. We'll take the cross brace and the fuselage side. And what we're going to do with this cross brace here is right in the middle of each one of these tabs, you're going to finish cutting that little hole and separate this into two pieces. So now you got this guy here separated into two pieces like that, and you got these little tabs left over. Now we're going to take the right hand side of the fuselage up on the table. We're going to grab the right hand side of the fuselage, the side with the P on there, and the top goes toward the canopy. And we're going to slide these little tabs into all these slots all the way down. If it's a little bit tight of a fit, you might just take your fingers, kind of pinch your thumb and forefinger there, and just kind of round off these little tabs a little bit, and they'll fit into that slot a little bit better. It's a nice tight fit. Just like so. And this is where you'll use your speed square to make sure that this is 90 degrees to the fuselage. And while pressing down here so there's no gap, I'm going to put a little bit of glue along the top here from the leading edge of the wing up to the motor cutout. Put a little bit here on the bottom from the T-square forward, making sure it's pressed down and nice and square. Use some accelerator. Let it set up for a while. You want to hold it there for a few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the glue from the bottom, on the bottom all the way forward, from the wing slot forward. We're not going to put any glue on the top where this wing slot is. We're going to avoid that area for now. We're going to go from the slot where the wing ends in the back to the tail. We'll glue that on both sides. Press it down and use your square. Make sure it stays square as you glue it, and that it's pressed down with no gap. Press it down. Lightly hit it with the accelerator, just real light. Keep pressing it lightly. Maybe double check it with the square. Accelerator on the other side. Good, nice and flat, nice and straight. Now we can take it off the table and we'll slide the other side in from the front. Work your way to the back. Pop those little tabs in. Lines itself up good, and we're going to constantly look down it and make sure that this is staying 90 degrees. You don't want it like that or like that. You want to make sure that stays 90 degrees. But it can be built off the table from here. And I'll just sight down it as I'm building. I'll press it down and I'll sight down it, and I'll just add some glue. Hit it with some accelerator.